Hello guys, how are you? Ganesh, another question. Very nice. Thank you very much for your question. I'm going to respond to it like this. So it's about the T20 now. Now, the T20 principle is, as we all know, it's a beautiful principle. I learned this. So the story behind the T20 principle, a little bit. When I first started trading, and I was excited about trading and all that. So I'm not going to tell you the story of how I got, all the stuff that happened. But when I started to understand the market and started making money and stuff, and as the account grows, there is another issue that actually hits you. So first you are too excited. You are making money and you're going better and better and better. You're enjoying it. But then as the account keeps growing, you become serious about trading. And when there's a failure and you're not hitting targets, if you have targets, that is, frustration and stuff comes. Then it goes to a level where every time you take a trade, something happens. Something happens in you. You're like, you start judging yourself, you start doubting yourself, and all that. And all that led to a lot of problems. So I started going into different type of meditations and all that stuff. And while meditations and autogenic training and all that help, and I highly recommend it, and that's why my, revised edition. So I'm revising all my books, but the one that I did, the first one, is activating the zone, because that is the most important one, and that is because 80% of trading is mental, and that's what I found out. So if 80% of trading is mental, if success depends on your mindset about trading, then it means we need to give that 80% of our time. And while the system, the entry technique, exit technique, risk management and all that is very important, it's all about the mindset. And you will know how, because when you start to invest real money and you start to lose, you start to blame yourself for losing the money. And let's say it's your saving and stuff like that, you feel responsible for it. And that will create a lot of emotional responses. Now, we are emotional beings. You can call yourself, you can run a robot, you can run an expert advisor, and when the expert advisor loses money, you're gonna feel bad. I can assure you that. I've seen loads of people. So you have an expert advisor, and you will never blame the script, because at the end of the day, you lost money. So let's suppose you have a £10,000 and you put it on a robot and the robot blew your account. You're going to blame yourself. And even if you don't blame yourself, it's you who's going to feel bad. So what do you do with that? And to deal with that, the answer is 220. Now, it's a long answer which I don't want to give right now. Maybe we'll go into it in more detail in some webinar or something, or I'll prepare something. But when you go to that, in this journey of finding a solution, I came across the legendary, rest in peace, Mark Douglas, and his book Trading in the Zone. Now, it's a simple book, easily written and all that, a little bit of stories in between. But towards the end of the book is where he presents the answer. And that is the one that actually a lot of people ignore. Because people like theory and stories and everything, emotional beings, right? We like to do that, but when it comes to the practice, which is only 20% of this, people don't do that. So what I did is that, okay, all that is good, theory, everything, I understood it. Now, how can I apply that? And that gave birth to the T20. So the T20 is a discipline training, so it's more like of an emotional training. And this training inbuilt has the ability to instill a mindset that every trader needs. And that mindset is called probabilistic mindset. Now, I didn't want to drop this bombshell at the start of the conversation, because as soon as a big word comes, people run away. So don't run away. Well, you haven't run away, you're still here, right? What is probabilistic mindset? It's very simple. The word is big, it's an intimidating term, but in reality, it's this. No matter what type of pattern you find in the market, and no matter what you deal with in the universe, everything has a probability of happening. Now, there are very there are events that are high probability that happens 99.99% of the time. So we think of that, we generalize it and we say that's permanent. So my child, if I ask them, are you going to go to school? They'll say, of course I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go every day. But there are probabilities they might not go to school tomorrow. You know, anything can happen. They can get sick, all of the other stuff, but most probably they will. And I always give this example of, imagine somebody walking down the street. Now you're standing here, and this person's going down there, and at the end of the street you see some festival happening. And this person is dressed up as a festival person. And they're walking that way, and you look at their feet and they are going forward. You can make a guess that there's a high probability that they are going to that festival. That's one. That's not one. One. That's one. So, but the second is, if you go to the inner fractal, see that's the if predicting where they're going is the hourly time frame. Now let's come to the M1 time frame. When they take one step in that direction, and I ask you, what is the probability of them taking the second step in that direction? Very high probability. So we have the ability to measure probabilities mentally, not mathematically, but we can mentally, and that's where some of the times it messes with the brain. So in trading, obviously everyone likes high probability events. We like things that happen all the time. You know, I'm going to save money in my account and I'm going to get 5% interest rate if you're lucky. So who gives 5% interest rate anyway? So I'm going to get that. No one's going to give that. So people are putting money in their funds and stuff that they're going to get retired. They were investing money in that fund because the perception that they had was that it's 100%. Nothing's going to go wrong. And obviously we know in 2008 crash and stuff, then when things happened, a lot of people lost theirs. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in it, but I'm saying that anything is possible. And this mindset of understanding probabilities is very important, and the only way to get that probabilistic mindset into your head and in your trading, make it a habit of you, is to have the T20 principle applied. Now the problem with the hourly chart, and not the hourly chart, the problem with M1 is that if you're a highly indisciplined trader, you might end up taking 20 trades in a day, right? You broke all your rules and you took 20 trades, or the market was very busy and your understanding of trades were not good, or you were breaking your rules because we can only take 3 trades maximum in a 2-hour session. Let's suppose you took 5 or 6 today, or let's suppose you took 4 today, you kind of like went one more, and you traded 5 days in a row. That's 20 trades done. So is your T20 stage 1 done? No. On M1 you need at least 4 weeks of trading. So suppose you did not take any trade because the market did not allow any trade. There was nothing in there. Is your T20 done? No, it's not. You have to give another, because you have to take at least 20 trades in the 20 days. Now you don't force yourself to take a trade. That's important. You don't force yourself, but you wait for the situation. You're disciplined. You show up for those 2 hours. So you have to do the hours. So it will be a good idea to say, okay, how many sessions did I do? And how many hours? So in 20 sessions, you'll have 80 hours at least. So we can put it this way to say, I have to have at least one T20, so 20 trades in the 20 days, at least 8 hours of chart time, not 8 hours, 80 hours, so 2 hours a day. So that's not 80, 20 days. So that's what am I saying? 40 hours, 40 hours of chart time, and maximum 40 trades, minimum 20. If you do that, that's your stage 1 for the M1 chart. not for the hourly. Now some of the hourly charts, because you have 8 charts in hourly, you can also apply the month or 4 weeks to the hourly to say, okay, I'll be able to do that. But then most probably you may or you may not take 20 trades. So it can be applied to them as well. So I think that's very important as well. And then give yourself 3 months for stage 2, because in stage 2 you will have 5 batches. So you can carry this onto the stage 2. And that's how it goes. What it will do at the end of stage 2 is that you'll be able to create about 5 to 6 batches of trades. Now if you've recorded them and put them in, journal is to have a picture and write about it. But at the same time, if you kept a Google sheet or an Excel sheet about the trades and all that, or a MyFXBook account, you'll be able to go back to those trades, plot them on your chart, and see if you have seen a pattern. And you will see a pattern so there's a setup I call the J setup. Now the J setup is a pattern that I saw in Joseph's trading. Now even he's forgotten about that, but I know. So there's a setup where a cherry appears, and hold on, ignore this. A cherry would appear. Hold on. Can I find one? Yeah, well, it will be here. So you see the purple is crossing Gator while Gator is open, and here somewhere there will be a cherry. That's called the J cherry. So he was kind of trading a lot of those cherry trades. Oh guys, this chart yesterday, the way it formed so many times, doesn't happen all the time. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on what is the structure of the hourly chart and stuff. It just happens sometimes. It's a chance event. Anyway, I can't find it at the moment. Well, here's one of the examples. So if this cherry, if this purple was, like, what will happen is that Gator will be open like this, and this purple will be going there. And where the purple crosses the Gator, that's where price pulls back to it, and there's a cherry there. So sometimes you have it like that. And I started calling it, and here, if there was a cherry here, because it's inside the Gator, so we don't see it, this is around the cherry. So I used to call it J setup, because for some reason Joseph used to take all of those cherries around here. Now these are not the highest one. This was a high probability one because it was London Open. Anyway, so that's what it is. The T20 principle, what it does to you is, I have this, I have something printed, laminated on my wall in front of me, and it's called a probabilistic mindset pertaining to trading consists of 5 fundamental truths. I want to do a separate video on that, and we will do that in some time. But quickly, point number one is anything can happen. Point number 2 is you don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. And point number 3, there is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. And an edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over the other. So when you see a setup 1, it gives you a 66% edge over the market. It is saying that when this happens, there's a 66% chance that would happen. So there's a higher chance. It's more than 50, right? There's a more chance of price going that way than that way. But does it mean it won't go that way? No, it will. It can go that way, right? So when this happens, it says there's a 66% chance that price will go at least 1 R, the distance of this box, up there. It could go more, but at least that much it will go. And within the 66, then around 20% of them actually go to 1 and come back. So make it easy for stage 1. I said go for 1 R targets. So that is the logic behind it. I recommend everyone who, when you do the T20, this is forward testing, and when you're free, you also do a back testing. And I have this excellent software for backtesting as well. If you go to my blog, you'll see a banner on your right. It says iTradeAIMS.com. You'll see Forex Tester. If you go, click on that banner, it will take you to that page. And you'll see that lovely Forex Tester. I have the fruit indicator, the box indicator, and the AO coded for that software. If you purchase it using my link, because I'm an affiliate, because they'll probably send me some money for that, I will give you my indicators for free. They are already in the forum. I just add you to a group. So anyone who's interested can come. I think currently this offer is only available for the members only, but I'm probably going to bring it to people who are not AIMS members as well. So I'll probably make a page and something so you can go there and see. Anyway, this was about the T20. I don't know if I answered all the questions. At what stage do I progress to stage 2? I think I hit that as well. So far I was under the impression that I would have to complete 100 trades to... yes, 100 trades is what it is, but I think you can go to stage 2 quickly by using the 20 days principle, and then you take those 100 trades actually a lot more, because stage 2 can last a year. You know, it can last like I think technically even Jasmine and Vicky, who are stage 3, if you really think about it, they're stage 2, because they haven't really found their style yet. They're not really confident in that there, but they're pretty good. I mean, they know what they're doing, and they have been profitable during that period. Now, so stage 2, it's a mental psychological thing. It's not something objective, clear. It's not like I promoted you to class 2, but it's this that you will know. Stage 3 is somewhere where you are actually competent. You are making a little bit of money. You're not losing, and you're developing your own style. You're progressing towards the trader that you are.